For lesson 2.6, Ready, Set, Go, the ready portion is getting us to distribute and factor. So for number 1, we're trying to distribute this x into each term of the parentheses. X times 4x is 4x squared. X times negative 7 is negative 7x. Number 3, same thing. Take what's outside, distribute it in. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared, and 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. For numbers 5 through 8, you are factoring each. So figuring out what can you pull from each term. I know that they have an x in common, so if I divide out an x, you would end up seeing that we'd have an x and a plus 4. Okay. And a good way to check that is to distribute it back in and see, how am I doing? Does it work? Number 7, I see that I've got an x squared and an x, so I know I can pull out an x, but I also have a 12 and a 60. Okay. So because of that, I need to pull out a little bit more. Now, I'm going to pull something out and then correct it. So I know that a 4 goes into each one of them. You know what? I know a 6 goes into each one of them. So 6x goes into each, and 2x remains in the first term, and plus 10 remains in the second term. But you notice I've got 2x and 10, which means that I can still pull out a 2. Therefore, I would have a 12x that I can pull. There's an x remaining and a plus 5. Now, a product of two linear factors is key here because we want to make sure that each of those factors is linear, which means that it has an exponent of 1. It powers 1. For number 9 through 12, we're going to multiply, so we're going to use that distributive property that you did in 1 through 3, just doing it a little bit more. X times x is x squared, x times negative 9 is negative 9x, 9 times x is plus 9x, and 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. As we have been doing for some time now, combine those like terms and you'll see negative 9x plus 9x gives me 0 x's, so I can write it as x squared minus 81. Number 11, 6x times 6x is 36x squared, times negative 5 is negative 30x. 5 times 6x is 30x, and 5 times negative 5 is negative 25. Combine your like terms, and you end up with 36x squared minus 25. For number 13, 9 through 12, definitely quadratic. Has an x squared in it, no other variable with a higher power. Which coefficient, a, b, or c, equals 0 for all of the exercises above? If you keep in mind, standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. The one that has to be equal to 0 is the b term because there is no x to a single power, or to a power of 1, in our solution. Something to consider there. All right, the set portion really has a very, very common theme. You'll notice that 45, 45, 45. We need to think of the factors of 45. So we know that we have 9 times 5. We have 15 times 3. and we have 45 times 1. So then the big thing is, which one adds up to which? Well, if you look at number 15, I need to think of two numbers that add up and get 18, but still get me 45. Looking at the list on the right, you've got x plus 15 times x plus 3. Again, we will have done a lot of this in class, so hopefully you were able to make it for that. 24, we have 2 times 12, we have 3 times 8, we have 4 times 6, and we have 24 times 1. So looking at number 17, see that I need to find two numbers that add together to get 11, x, and multiply to get 24. That's our x plus 8 times x plus 3. For number 19, it's our x plus 2 times x plus 12. For 21, for 20, 21, and 22, we're trying to find those factors of 36. Well, x plus 9 times x plus 4 would be our solution there. Tricky one is 23, 24, and 25, because now we've got a negative 100 in here. So to get a negative 100, I know that I can take negative 100 times 1, negative 50 times 2, negative 25 times 4, negative 20 times 5. And now, negative 10 times 10. And I can also have the inverse of those, or the opposite of those, the opposite of those, where it's 100 times negative 1, 50 times negative 2. But when I add them together, they need to get negative 15, which is why I had the negatives associated with the larger numbers. So if I look at it, I need to end up with negative 15. Well, I know that I have x minus 15, or sorry, not minus 15, x minus 20 times x plus 5. Negative 20 plus 5 is negative 15. Multiplying them together gets you negative 100. Now this one's positive, so we would need to turn all of these positive as well. Adding them together to get 29, you would end up with x plus 25 times x plus 4. For the go portion, can be deceiving here. Looks very challenging. What we're doing here is we're trying to figure out how to get these factors out of the radical sign. So we need to determine if we have a perfect square. And remember, a perfect square is going to be something that has the same dimensions on one side as it does the other. Well, get a little bit better square here. The dimensions for number 27 are 17xyz times 17xyz. Those are the same size. Taking one of those pieces, one of those side lengths would get me 17xyz. Number 29, think about what you can take out. Well, the square root of 121 is 11. The square root of a squared is a. The square root of b to the 6th is b to the 3rd. And just to confirm that, if I have a square that is 11ab to the 3rd and 11ab to the 3rd, if I multiply those together, I would end up getting 121 a squared b to the 6th power. For number 31, thinking of those factors of 49 that add together and get 14. Well, you would see that you have x plus 7 times x plus 7. So I know that I can pull one of those out and just get x plus 7 by itself. For number 33, two numbers that multiply to get 100 and add to get 10. Not a perfect square. Okay, we have to leave that one alone. Number 35. Two numbers that multiply to get a positive 100 and add together to get negative 20x. And you might be thinking, like, not possible. Well, if we're adding them together, they need to get negatives, but with their multiplying, they need to be positive. So we know that both of those terms are going to be negative. So let's try this out. Negative 50, negative 2. Definitely not going to add together and get negative 20. Negative 25, negative 4, nope. Negative 20, negative 5, no, but that's close. Negative 10, negative 10, bingo. X minus 10 squared is what the factors would be. So x minus 10 under the square root, pulling that out, and you are good. Hopefully this helps. Reach out if you have any questions.